Auf ein neues bei Disco Elysium und ich würde sagen, wir springen direkt rein. Was soll dieses ganze Vorgelaber immer? Wir waren hier gestern, haben die Leiche im Hinterhof gefunden, die dort hing schon seit 7 Tagen, weil ich irgendwie verplant habe, als Polizist da mich drum zu kümmern, weil ich das Trinken vorgezogen habe. Und jetzt ist mein Kollege aufgetaucht, Herr, ich weiß nicht mehr genau, wie er heißt. Und der ist aufgetaucht, hat sich darum gekümmert, dass ich mal ein bisschen äh, aus dem Mustopf komme. Ach nee, warte mal, aus dem Mustopf kommen heißt ja, dass man was nicht checkt. Dass ich mal in Gang komme und deshalb kümmern wir uns jetzt darum. Wir haben gestern mit diesem leicht rassistischen LKW-Fahrer gesprochen und jetzt schauen wir uns mal diesen Tumult hier an. Hafenarbeiter. Okay, wir können aber mit niemandem so richtig reden. Was haben wir denn da? Yellt. Ja, dann unterhalten wir uns mal mit dem großen Mann hier.
Bastards! We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
Shame on you!
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. But try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is. Why don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminal shit. They have that look.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
Von leichtem Bartwuchs bedeckt. Das ist jetzt nicht so leicht, würde ich sagen.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss.
I know nothing about a murder. Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to stay alive. Right to work! It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
Ja gut, das war jetzt nicht so erfolgreich. Der ist da nur auf seinen Streik konzentriert, was ich auch nachvollziehen kann, aber war jetzt nicht so hilfreich. Heute lagern sie Alkohol, das ist ja gut. Ausländischer Wagen. Nee, ich wollte mir erst nochmal den Typen angucken, der da auf dem Geländer rumlungert. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich an den rankomme. Ja, scheinbar. Ah, er geht dann hoch, okay.
Scab?
Ach nee.
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab.
Sein Lächeln lässt seine Falken noch tiefer wirken. So ein Satz, ne? Das lese ich so gerne, sowas.
Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money. Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the wild north? Come to see the strife?
Ich bin auf Erkundung.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's so simple, why did the scab leader warn you of the guards blocking the way?
I walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The corridor slips by your outstretched fingers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do, passing around cargo and such. Was not meant as provocation or ridicule.
The boyardero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood.
Right, always glad to help out the RCA. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs.
Ja, sehr cool.
Volumetric ship compressor.
Was war das denn nochmal?
Some scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit's singularity.
What? Okay, das habe ich geschafft. Ich weiß auch noch nicht so ganz, was das hier... Boni aus diesem Gedanken. Alle weißen Würfelproben für Ausdauer freigeschaltet. Okay, das heißt aber... Kann ich das jetzt vergessen? Ich weiß es halt nicht. Den Gedanken für einen Punkt vergessen. Der Gedanke geht für immer verloren. Auf keinen Fall. Okay, alles klar. Ja, das ist mir alles noch ein bisschen... Also hier ist schon viel los. Fähigkeitspunkte ein. Ich kann jetzt quasi erhöhen, was ich möchte. Bleiben wir gleich mal dabei, denn ich kann mir vorstellen, dass ich den Schädelmesser da oben überzeugen muss. Kann ich hier vorher mit anderen Leuten reden? Nee, nur mit ihm. Hallo.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me. That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4.
Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Jerking motions. Signs of a late-stage neurodegenerative disorder. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and power. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent to the genetic summit, you will be superseded. Isn't that right?
It is, baby, yeah.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
Ja, gute Frage. Soll ich ihm zustimmen? Dann sagt er, ich weiß, dass ich recht habe, ich habe Muskeln. Zur Seite schieben wird nicht funktionieren, glaube ich. Und zu sagen, sie müssen sich nur ein bisschen bewegen, dann mache ich das hier. Schade, dass hier nicht die Option ist, einfach den Knopf drücken. Ich mache mal die 1.
It is my task to keep the degenerate drunks from entering the arbor. That is right. You should leave the stage of history with dignity. By inviting, bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. He would take you as one of his own.
Ja, für den Moment,
The
ja.
best idea.
Oh Gott. Ja. Schließt dich seiner fortgeschrittenen Rassentheorie an. Ey, wenn das wirklich hilft.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then to you.
You are obviously a liberal, Sailite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one
God.
do you need education on? Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find a receding
Alter.
genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanaal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet, little the Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur la Clé, and even the north, the other large mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent in the overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic mint, as proven by the Maun and the Mesk. Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the Areopagites are on the ascent. The Areopagites are the master race of the Ilmaran deserts. The Simonese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ilmara to Ansuland. Thousands of years before the lactose intolerant. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the super isola of the latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite, or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more Type A races.
War ja ganz einfach.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koikos and the Vashot.
The Koikos of Grad, Yugo, Zimsk, Chest et al. Are what you would call white officer in a suspect description.
Yes, to an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a hands-on witch. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct color, and so pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking. The Koiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with potat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planet. Its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Simonese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature. The Revacholians, halfway between Type A and the racial cauldron. Too mixed to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are a tragedy that has played out countless times over, like a fever dream of skin, hair, and bone. Wake up, naive chessmith. The revolution came to Ravachol from grad in Zara's written potato cards. It is literally an illness, a prion disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe ridden with holes. A soft sponge like the revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Koiko to the Occidentals. Enough of Tibet mediocritypes. The F are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. It would be cruel to entertain ourselves with their deformities, where you understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vacholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease? Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel your silence betrays your inferiority. You do not have a reply. You should enter a deep race slumber. Perhaps in 4,000 years, there is need for a servile homunculus. Oh, don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital, something your race also. To serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. Jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth cult offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race. The South Island race, haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of 8. We are the future. That is all you need to know. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulimbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles women walk into the gray mass on No. I have heard about it on the radio. I'm from Couronne. And no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Simony strategy. Spreading through its trade, you have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with. And
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one.
That will be the...
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits, a protruding occiput, and an indented zygomatic.
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the youth.
Oh Gott, Leute, ey. Also wenn ihr davon irgendwas verstanden habt, bis auf er gehört der Oberrasse an und ist der Meister überhaupt und kommt ursprünglich von den Südinseln, aber nicht wirklich von den Südinseln, er ist nur ein Nachfahre. Sagt aber, dass alle, die von den Südinseln kommen und zu Rassentyp A gehören, irgendwann alle anderen aussterben lassen werden. Dann Glückwunsch. Aber bei mir endete das Verständnis da irgendwie.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II." Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his... Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate... His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Kruger, he called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weapons. Not just any nose candy, though. We're talking Royal Philippian blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays. And purple. Philippian cocaine was purple. That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later. Right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum. The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships. During the turn of the century, most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the... The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit. People in Martinaise tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders. With Philip III, the Squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi, not that he ever did in life either.
Körperapparat. Ey, Leute. Jetzt haben wir schon 3 Real und 5 Cent Penny Real.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
So, dann geht's hier weiter? Nee. Ach doch, hier ist noch was. Oh, noch mehr Geld, Leute. Oh, was haben wir denn hier oben?
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grant-made machine is well kept for such an old machine. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings. Stick the driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep. Large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man. The title...
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
Okay. Vielleicht kann er uns ja tatsächlich irgendwie helfen, wenn ich das jetzt... erstmal schauen. Elysium. Nee. Ja. Nee, tatsächlich war es das auch schon hier. Gut, dann schauen wir uns mal weiter um. Es ist 11:08 Uhr. Die Dame hat noch was zu sagen.
Hello again, officer. Of course. Where to? It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inlet. There are some islands in the bay. There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements, some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Just coast. There's a little fishing village there and a fish market. No problem.
Okay. So, hier haben wir noch eine Person.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there. You sure are, my man. It's the jam, my man. It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike. Scabs agitating. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak, or he just likes unusual words, or both.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already. So tell me, what do you need? Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work. The bosses, man. Makes sense. It sucks is what it does. He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time, right?
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs. A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, they usually get shipped to Grad and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy. This rockin' beauty, Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6.
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Don't be a stranger.
Okay. Was haben wir hier? In ihm wächst ein Baum. Gehen wir mal hier rüber. Reifenspuren, die aufs Dach führen. Dann schauen wir uns doch mal die Herrschaften hier drüben an.
Life doesn't need to be a struggle. I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich. Don't...
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. That's the spirit. Don't even waste your breath asking about the game. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime. You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter. You God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory. Time has frozen. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it, probably a sponsored ball. Yours would only be covered with, but already your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrated, until you and the ball have merged into a single entity. An embodiment of pure motion, a fine-tuned low. Some would still say you're a cop, but I guess we're beyond that now.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
A whorehouse of shit. It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was at least 23 meters, probably 24, and then some.
What the hell is your problem? I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful. You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 bull. No, you don't. Our pétanque game is ruined. We want our bull back.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it?
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull. A fine example you are setting here today, officer. I will remember this.
It's okay, officer. Forgotten completely. It was my bull, and I have a spare.
The lieutenant says nothing, but his face is rigid. It seems it's your refusal to take responsibility I don't like.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by in Martinez. The union is the law. So can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old...
'Tis true, sire. He knows nothing.
Alles klar. So. Ja, dann können wir erstmal hier hingehen. Schauen, was wir hier haben. Solche Bullkugeln sind dann echt manneswürdig. Was gibt's hier?
This Postlavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection revealed. The box seems happy.
Ja, genau.
Shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also. The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you.
Oh, hier ist aber ordentlich was los. Ist hier so ein Bücherstand? So, wer bist du hier?
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. Thank you, sir. I'm happy to help Mum out with the store. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Ja, ich glaube die Markschule.
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get... Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Ja, dann gehen wir gleich mal rein und schauen, was die Mutter zu sagen hat. Geschmolzene Süßigkeiten. Die sieht aber sehr streng aus, die Dame.
Welcome to crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space. Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavor. One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer.
Certainly there are good things to be said about dependence.
Now, hey there. Sounds like someone isn't taking responsibility for the energy they bring into the tribute. Power. These are... I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture. Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl? Wonderful. Did you talk to her? Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her? My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette. Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's
Denial is the way she copes with criticism. The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly
What in God's name is she talking about?
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? See those shelves there? Go. Be drawn.
She smiles and nods.
Ja. Hab sie jetzt aber auch nicht gefragt, ob sie irgendwas weiß. Die Option gab es leider nicht. Ja, okay, hier wird einfach nur...
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of famous people. You see a large variety of names. Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tournée racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other. Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse, though. I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of...
Shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever they are.
Ah, ich habe gar nicht so viel Geld. Ja, aber sehe ich auch gar nicht ein, der Alten hier jetzt irgendwas abzukaufen, ehrlich gesagt.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the app. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says, still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never... From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those...
The place does not look like a successful tourist trap, does it?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
Oh nee, das wird nix.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab.
Okay, dann schauen wir uns mal die Karte an. Interagieren.
Features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez, with directions to appropriately touristy locations. Year 48 resides on the upper right. Your finger moves through the various streets, across Rue de Saint-Ghislain and Rue Saint-Cypar, finally coming to a halt on the spot where you are currently standing.
For a more detailed view of the map, go to your journal and select the Map tab.
Oh, sehr schön. Also, wenn er dahinter ist, dann bin ich ja wohl... Warte mal, ich bin doch hier vorbeigelaufen. Ist das hier der Buchladen? Kann das sein? Da ist der Gehängte. Also wir haben hier hinten haben wir das Meer, Kirche, Fischerhütten, Hafenviertel. Genau, hier waren wir. Hier ist die Statue. Ja, das ist jetzt natürlich alles nicht so super detailliert. Spiegel. Ja, das ist auch noch so ein Ding mit dem Brechreiz.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a ride amidst the various books. You find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. These three things are very important to the working class mind. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services. It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage, and would only give you wholeness, unity, balance. On the other hand, can basically take care of anything. When it's up to your mind to heal yourself, various paranatural books still litter the shelf.
Gut, ich glaube, ich habe genug gesehen. Was hat er? Okay. So, haust du rein. Du altes Schrapnell. Es hat auch so eine ganz merkwürdige Atmosphäre, so das Ganze, auch der Stil und so. Das ist irgendwie so eine Mischung aus, ich weiß nicht, Dishonored so ein bisschen. Und ich weiß gar nicht, was da noch so reinfällt. So ein bisschen so ein Grand Budapest Hotel vielleicht. Ja, ich wandere jetzt einfach mal so ein bisschen rum und schau mal, was es hier noch so gibt. Ich soll natürlich noch die Leiche untersuchen, aber mit seinem Brechreiz, das ist natürlich so ein bisschen schwierig, aber ich schaue erst mal. Hat sie die Farbe verschüttet? Warte mal kurz. Weiß nicht, manchmal ist der Sound so ein bisschen abgerüttelt. Wartet mal eben. Muss mal kurz. Ne, damit ist alles okay. Es wird dann wohl wirklich im Spiel sein, dass das so ein bisschen.
Sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside. The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. I won't be Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police.
There is no reply.
Okay.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group. What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as...
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are... and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Why, thank you.
She nods.
Ich muss das drücken. Ich musste sie nach Geld fragen.
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy. Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes. A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair. Despite the first hints of grey, she's elected to keep it, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible within reason. Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead. You're poor, poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too. Maybe you could ask her for some stock tips. That's a maybe. Or a job.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Nee, das ist mir... Nee.
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
'Twas stolen by some artist, surely. Best to pin the blame on them. Everyone knows you can't trust artists.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
Nein.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalitis. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply...
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is enough.
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
+1 Mitgefühl für deine Amnesie, sehr gut. Aber
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want...
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over, or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be...
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Wow, you work hard. Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. Oh yeah, like a horse, a workhorse, for hard work. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You rock a little. You make money. You got gills, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocent. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter and a money printer. Sure, sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety? Are you rich? Get out of here. You're a pauper. You work harder than anyone. Almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket. Stealing on taxes almost non-existent in the Gotham estate. That is reverential. You and I both, but they got those indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax. This tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus, there's the stuff people in other. 98% of all your money. What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples? What are you, a racist? Don't be a racist. Be a cool immigrant, ultra-liberal free market advocate. Ride or die. Keep it street.
Ey, das ist so abgefahren, ey. Achso, ich muss ja mit ihm hier reden. Ne?
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchmen. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands. Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you look.
You could request a new one from the station, but that would literally take months. No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their tail. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the coalition. Unfortunately.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union.
No way. She's more. She can make decisions.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd...
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite...
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more...
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Of course. How else can I help? It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing.
Ingredients for what?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the union also produces the product? Sells drug?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the union does not produce it. They Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weekly...
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crew. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you. Yes? Excellent.
to my reports, there are at least...
It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic... In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance. Of course, Detective.
Ja, also wie mein Kollege schon gesagt hat, den Dienstausweis zu finden, würde jetzt, glaube ich, den Zeitrahmen sprengen. Außer ich hätte irgendwie einen Anhaltspunkt, aber den habe ich ja nun absolut nicht. Genauso mein Revolver. Und einen neuen zu beantragen würde zwar schnell gehen, aber den dann zu erhalten würde mehrere Monate dauern. Deshalb schauen wir mal, dass wir mit den Fahrern sprechen, die wir ja nun schon kennen. Wen haben wir denn? Wir haben ihn hier. Na.
Looking for something? Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body. You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight. So they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage. Racial economic sabotage. Not in, not out. I'll never...
So you're telling us that you don't know anything about drug smuggling?
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kids sneaking on at night.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys. Since you left, I haven't had anyone to talk to. It's a fucking travesty, is what it is. Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer stuff. Stuff he stole after he broke the seals. Just follow the smell. It smells like apricot and oil.
Yes, yes. Where?
Looks like I offended your partner there. Too bad. Sealang's usually a little bit south of here, near the canal. You can't miss him. Just watch. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, all right?
I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard.
Guess so.
Okay, ein bisschen südlich von hier. Das heißt, entweder haben wir schon mit ihm gesprochen, der Herr, der da so gesungen hat, er hier. Oder tatsächlich noch weiter. Geht's hier rein? Denn im Allgemeinen weiß ich gar nicht, wo der Stau hier endet. Hier war doch auch vorbei, oder? Das war doch einfach nur... Ah, hier haben wir noch jemanden.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realized the name Sealang is embroidered.
Happy shopping, officer! Everything's cool here. Everything's cool. The goods are cool. You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang! You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business. Maybe I can interest you in some premium menswear instead.
Start
Yeah.
with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Oh, okay. An investment? What kind of investment? I hear you, officer. What kind of a sum are we talking about here? Sounds like a fair deal all around.
Corruption.
It's just like bus or seagull. A kid watching out of a window describing things going by. He doesn't like it too much, but what do you do?
Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs. That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs. Sadly, I don't have any drugs on sale. Or at my home, or on my person. That's even cooler. You investigating that and all. But, I am not alone.
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm...
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. I'm... Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream. Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get...
And what crowd is that?
Crowd. You know, the drug crowd.
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd.
No use. He's not telling us. He's too afraid. We need to take him to my station and ask him there.
Okay, look. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady. I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her.
He's not ruling her out.
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know.
Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or the other one?
All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I don't All right. I scored. Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past?
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samoan Isola.
Very cool. I like your style.
Okay.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of string.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabric.
Save the economy. That sounds off. You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first-hand. Buy second-hand. Keep the...
Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf, it says, but also...
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
-1 Schauder, +1 Beherrschung. Ja, aber nicht für 4,50, sorry.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new Very cool. The economy thanks you.
You see two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them like conquerors.
I can see you've a taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
A pair of Faun Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest Faun sneakers. Super Air.
Only? That's madness. Faun Ultra. We're the future. You remember the slogan from some magazine. These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop. But
No, no, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here. No, don't pity them, officer. These are old Samaran cars.
Samaran trash? That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
Was haben wir hier noch?
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hums. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these
are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool. Oh, very interesting choice, officer. Very high culture.
This is how a sea monster sees the world. You've become a sea monster.
Wow, officer. You look so cool. And they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular customers have passed them all up because they've...
The lieutenant tilts his head and steps back, eyes narrowed in a thorough examination. It's a case.
You look like a musician. Like a blind musician. But you could do worse. Take them if you want.
Oh, -1 wahrnehmen. Ja, nee. Das mache ich nicht. Nur um so eine bescheuerte Sonnenbrille aufzusetzen. Ich würde vorschlagen, wir gehen jetzt mal direkt zu der Dame hier. Die war doch hier hinter, oder? Oder nicht? Kann man... Ach, Tatsache. Sehr gut. Die hockte doch hier. So, Polizei.
The woman still has.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Where am I? Who are you? Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s. Back in Mecca, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. Until you came along, that is. I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just... While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty...
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional monarchy, and, as of recently, an outcast due to its tilt to the far right.
Why not, Sheriff? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole. Diamonds? Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous? Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
Then it's contraband, Loman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me.
Bad hand. Hermenegildos' bad hand. Strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
Did you just call me a lady, Sheriff? I'm not that either, Sheriff. I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. I'm only terrifying to small children, and to those who...
Yeah, it's not her. Believe me.
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around? When I have my movies to go to. The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there. It's all just... In the middle of this town, there's a ghostly
In the background, a quiet song seeps from her cabin into the air. You don't...
Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was. Oh, sin.
She's just a distracted old woman. We should make...
So he doesn't think she's the lady driver.
You hear that, Lowman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me. Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best communers around. I love Lomonosov's Land, Udashnaya Zemlya, the Transcatolia Magistral. You for 1A. Adestradas du Miral. All the good ones. The deep trenches. Where the bluebirds fly. Irmao. I already am dust. What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel. The great adversary. No drugs can compare. If you don't know,
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
why would I want to do that? Loma, what in the name of God are you talking about? Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way. Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grat. The U41A. What do you think they take from... It's diamonds, Loman, obviously. Diamonds are good for you, Loman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zoras. Easy. It's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at Earth. I can just relax and let my mind carry me backward.
I think we're done here, no?
Yes, go.
Okay, das heißt, der... Okay, jetzt geht's. Der Typ, der hier drüben dieses Lied gesummt hat, meint sie den vielleicht? Na komm. Der hier, oder?
Hello again, my man. What's on your mind? I don't want to talk about that. Man, I was hoping she'd catch a break. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some mastermind evildoer. And I don't know where she is. Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her...
Again, not a lie as far as you can tell.
A friend? An acquaintance? I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay? A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Died. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad.
We can't just let it go. It's part of a police...
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down...
It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is...
I don't believe you. She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over.
She shared this with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her. I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now, but we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind. Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman, for one. Wait, this guy says they're friends, then acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out. Push Tommy and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
Thank you, friend. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again.
Okay, auf jeden Fall viele Leute, die viel zu sagen haben. Ich werde an dieser Stelle mal pausieren, denn die Episode endet hier. Ich danke auch bei diesem sehr ruhigen und angenehmen Spiel für eure Aufmerksamkeit und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Macht's gut. Ciao.